Before we start this video, guys, I would just like to tell you that it is not made for kids. This video is also for adults to enjoy as well. Well, with that said, please enjoy the fucking video.
Brilliant!
Hey guys, Liam Fitzgerald here again, and welcome once again to another review. This is my 5th review, and it's sadly going to be my last one until December. If you want to know why that is, watch the introduction to my previous review and you'll understand. Before I start this last review until December, I'd like to explain to you guys why all my favourite episodes about each member of the Can Do crew are in seasons 2 and 3 specifically. These stories are where we learn about the machine's personalities and what makes each of them stand out. Lofty is shy and timid, Scoop is a great team leader, Rolly loves music and animals, and Muck loves being playful and getting dirty. We'll talk about Dizzy in a minute. But also, both of these seasons included the most iconic episodes, such as Runaway Rolly, Wallpaper Wendy, Scoop Has Some Fun, Bob's Day Off, etc. I hope this helps you understand why these 2 seasons have been getting a lot of attention recently. Well, with that explained, it's time to move on to the last member of the Can Do crew, which is none other than Dizzy. Wow. What can I say about Dizzy? Well, she's energetic, cheerful, funny, and very curious about what goes on around her. Out of all the characters, Dizzy was truly the hardest character to pick a favourite episode for. But after a bit of thinking, I finally decided which episode deserves the favourite Dizzy episode title. So, join me today as we take a look at the season 2 episode, Dizzy Statues. Let's get whizzy. Dizzy Statues is the 8th episode of season 2. We open with Bob preparing to go to the town hall to put up some bollards, but Wendy asks Bob if he can go to Mrs. Potts to dig some holes for her new statues, which he agrees to do. But as Bob's working on the bollards for the town hall, he accidentally brings the wrong edging stones, thus needing to go back with Scoop for the right ones. Bob tells Dizzy and Muck to keep an eye out for the delivery of bollards. Then Mrs. Potts rings Wendy to tell her that she's expecting a delivery of her new statues, but has to go shopping. Back with Dizzy and Muck, we see that the statues have been delivered to the town hall by accident. Then Dizzy gets the bright idea of completing both jobs to surprise Bob, which Muck eagerly agrees to. But we observe them both go completely wrong, to the displeasure of both Bob and Mrs. Potts. Eventually, Bob fixes Dizzy and Muck's mishaps, and it all ends with Mrs. Potts giving Bob a frog statue as a thank you present, who is somewhat satisfied. How are you able to fit so much comedy into a 10-minute episode? Dizzy Statues is without a doubt one of the funniest episodes of the show. I can't count how many times I come out of this episode laughing my head off. It is that funny. First, let's start with Dizzy. Oh my god, she has so much enthusiasm here. So much, she almost tries to head off before Bob is even ready.
Come on, Muck!
Hang about, Dizzy. I need to get a few things together.
Like what, Bob?
Like tools, Muck? That's what builders use.
How much excitement can this cement mixer have? Really? Then again, Dizzy's the youngest of the machines, so I guess it makes sense that she's hyper nearly all the time. But despite being enthusiastic, we also see that she, and Muck, tries her best to be helpful, only for it to go wrong. While Dizzy might be eager and sometimes cheeky, her heart is always in the right place, and we could see that she's only trying to make things easier for Bob. In my last review, I mentioned how Dizzy and Muck have a very playful relationship, which we first see in Bob's birthday and Scary Spud. Just like that episode, their playful friendship is used really well here too. The scene where they laugh their heads off at the statues is so entertaining to watch.
Look at that one. It looks like Lofty in a bad mood.
Did Dizzy just say that Lofty looks like a windmill when he's in a bad mood? Dizzy, you are such a savage. And Muck isn't wrong, that fairy does look like Spud. They really are like the Bill and Ben of Bobsville, aren't they? This is the first of 2 episodes where we see these 2 mischievous demons try to do a job on their own. The other is Dizzy's crazy pavings. But in this episode, we can see that Muck and Dizzy really try their hardest to do something on their own. But of course it goes completely wrong. Hey, nobody gets it completely right the first time. Give these 2 a bit of credit. Another hilarious moment is the scene when Muck calls the bollards ugly.
What does she want those things for?
Perhaps she thinks they're pretty.
Pretty ugly.
This line could really be taken out of context if it wanted to.
What does she want those things for?
Perhaps she thinks they're pretty.
Pretty ugly.
Okay, I'm actually gonna stop that now. Let's move on with the review. I also love the reactions Bob, Scoop and Mrs. Potts have to Dizzy and Muck's disasters. I just love how Bob and Scoop are staring at each other for 2 seconds and then they scream their heads off in realization.
I don't believe it!
Bob, if the statues are here, where are the bollards?
Scoop, you don't think that...
Where are Dizzy and Muck?
Wow! Mrs. Potts!
That is pure comedy gold. And the way the episode ends with Bob being given the frog by Mrs. Potts was a perfect way to end the funny episode. Just listen to Bob's sarcastic voice. He's really trying to pretend to be happy.
Oh, it's just what I've always wanted. Thank you, Mrs. Potts. Look, everyone. A frog.
I'm sorry if I'm rambling too much about the comedy, but that's why this is my favourite Dizzy episode. Also, can we just appreciate the stop motion animation in the scene when Bob is drilling? I mean, oh my god! This is probably the animation at its best here. It's almost as insane as the animation in Built to be Wild was. However, whilst I love this episode, I did have a few nitpicks with it. The first one was, why did Mrs. Potts have to call Wendy to alert her about the statues being delivered while she was out? Wouldn't it have been easier to call Bob about that? That was completely random, honestly. I also question who the heck managed to get both deliveries mixed up. I doubt it was Mr. Dixon. He's very useful with deliveries. And my third nitpick, why the heck is Rolly here at the end of the episode? I can see Lofty being needed to lift the statues into place, but why is Rolly here? I doubt Bob needed any flattening since all he was doing was putting the statues into holes. I apologise, but these nitpicks really stumped me. If anyone has a good explanation, please explain in the comments. Well, I think I've said everything I needed to say about this Dizzy episode. Great character from Dizzy, so many comedic moments, and despite having some problems, it's truly a well-written story. I'm so annoyed that Dizzy didn't get much episodes in the first 9 seasons because she really knows how to make it entertaining to watch. And this episode is a great example of that. So, I think Dizzy Statues deserves an 8 out of 10. Such a humorous story. And that's it. I've done 5 reviews with each one dedicated to the main 5 machines. I thank you guys so much for showing your love on these reviews. I truly enjoyed making them for you all, and I look forward to doing more in the future. But for now, I'm taking a break from creating them to focus on other things. But don't worry, I will be back in December where we'll get festive and review the first Christmas episode, Bob's White Christmas. I hope to see you all there. I'm Liam Fitzgerald, and I will see you all real soon. Bye for now.